Hey, today we're talking about what you can do to practice your English at home. I get questions all the time asking, what can I do to improve my English? How can I practice my English alone? What if I don't have anyone to practice with? And so on. And these questions are very, very common. So I've put together a simple 5-step system that you can follow if you want to work on your English on your own at home. So first, here are your 5 steps. Input, analyze, practice, output, and review. Okay, so input, analyze, practice, output, and review. These are the 5 steps. Let's look at each one in detail to see what exactly you have to do at each step. Step 1 is input. Now, input is when you are receiving the language. When you practice English, you need some kind of material, you need a context, you need something to work with, right? So, step 1 is to choose one piece of authentic English material or content that you can read, listen to, watch, or all of those things. Okay, so you can choose a video, a YouTube video, you can choose an article, you can choose a blog post, a podcast episode, something that is short enough for you to finish and it is real, authentic English, okay? So do not choose, let's say, an exercise from a textbook. You need to choose something that is authentic use of the language, okay? So these are my suggestions: a video, a blog post, an article, a podcast episode. These are great options for you. Something you can read, listen to, or both. And once you have this one piece of material, you're gonna work with it through the rest of the 5 steps, okay? So basically choose anything that you're interested in, that you like, or that you need for work, okay? So once you have it, your goal on the first day, the first step, is only to read or listen to this piece of material, okay? So let's say that you choose a YouTube video. Your goal on the first day is only to watch the YouTube video and try to get the general meaning. If you don't understand words or phrases, don't worry about it. Watch it a few times and just focus on getting the overall general meaning, okay? So that is your first step. Input some English into your brain with whatever you choose, okay, a video, an article, and just try to understand it in general. On this day, don't translate, don't look things up, don't stress if you don't understand it. Leave yourself some time to read or watch a couple of times, and that's it. Okay, now step 2, it's time to analyze. So you're going to work with the same piece of material that you used for step 1. So imagine you watched a short YouTube video about fashion design. You're gonna take the same video, okay? But now we're gonna dig a little bit deeper and we're actually going to analyze the language. So in step 1, your goal was just to try to get the general meaning. Maybe you understood it all, maybe you didn't, and that's okay. Now we're going to analyze. So this is when you can watch it again, you can pause, you can make note of any new words, new phrases, confusing grammatical structures, anything that you don't understand. Now is your time to analyze it and make sure that you understand it, okay? So first you got the general context, the overall meaning, and now you want to dissect or analyze the language and see how it's actually being used in this authentic piece of material or content that you're using. So now is the time to look up any new words that you don't understand, start making some notes, and you can spend as long as you want on this step or any of these steps, all right? So if you have 2 hours to spend, great. If you have 15 minutes to spend or 20 minutes to spend, that is okay. So your goal with step 2 is to get a deeper and clearer understanding of the language in this piece of material. Okay, now in step 3, it's time to do some practice. So you started off by getting the general meaning of the material. Then you analyzed any new words, new grammatical structures, phrases, expressions, anything that was confusing for you. And now you have some new language and some new concepts, and you need to practice using them, okay? So again, imagine you watched a video about fashion design and you heard this new word and you don't know what it means, all right? So the word is flattering. So you heard flattering and you're like, what does this word mean? Okay, so yesterday you looked up the meaning of the word and you discovered, okay, flattering is an adjective and it describes something that looks good on you. It can be a shape, it can be a color, whatever. It just looks good on you. If something is flattering on you, it looks nice, okay? Now you need to practice using it. So here you need to come up with examples using any of the new words, any of the new grammar that you find difficult. This is when you want to actually practice using it. And you can do that by coming up with your own realistic examples that you can actually use in your daily life, okay? So you learn this new word, flattering, and here is how you can practice using it. Ask yourself, okay, when can I use this word? Will I use this word? Will I not use it? And you decide, yeah, I think I can use it to give people compliments. So you write down some examples of what you can actually say. You can say, that is a really flattering color on you, okay? Or you can say, that is not the most flattering color on you, or that color isn't flattering on you, okay? So if you want to compliment the way that someone looks, the way that they're dressed, the color they're wearing, you can say, that color is really flattering. Those glasses are very flattering. Your new haircut is very flattering. So the examples you come up with do not have to be crazy or creative. They do have to be realistic. So these examples are actually very simple. Something is flattering. That's it. Okay, that's it. It's very simple. But the next time you want to actually use this new word, you can easily remember it, right? So let's say a colleague of yours gets a new pair of glasses and you say, your glasses look really nice. They're very flattering, okay? Or a friend of yours gets a haircut. You can say, your haircut is really nice. It's very flattering, all right? So that's the key here, is to practice by coming up with simple examples that you can actually remember and then take away and use. So practice is effective when it teaches you something that you can actually use in your real life. That is the key to effective practice. So don't try to be creative here unless you want to be. Just try to be realistic and practical. Okay, so after you've done your practice, step 4 is output. Now you actually have to produce something on your own using the language, the concepts that you've learned, and talking about this topic, all right? So first you understood it, then you analyzed it, then you did some controlled practice. Now you want to produce something, okay? So here you're going to either write or dictate some kind of response to whatever you listened to or whatever you read. If you want to start off by writing, that's okay. You can write, and I would recommend writing at least 2 paragraphs. But even better is to dictate or to speak. And you can simply record your voice using a free app that's probably already on your phone. Or if you have to download a voice recording app, you can find many free ones as well. So 2 options here. Write, or better yet, I recommend speaking or dictating, okay? And what you're gonna write or talk about is your opinion or your response to whatever material you used in step 1. So again, imagine that you watched a video about fashion design. Now you're going to start talking about it, sharing your opinion, talking about what you liked, what you didn't like, if you agree, if you disagree. And here you can try to use some of the new words and some of the new structures that you learned, okay? So it's very important when you learn about a new topic in English to actually think about it from different perspectives and then share your opinion. So the main purpose of this step, it's still a form of practice, but it's less controlled. It gives you a chance to use English freely, to use the language in a more free way to communicate, share your opinions, give different ideas, agree or disagree. And this is mimicking what would happen in real life. So if you watched this video with a friend, you'd probably comment on it afterwards. You might say you liked this, you didn't like this, you agreed with this, you disagreed with this was new information for you, and you might kind of engage in a discussion. So it is important to practice in a controlled way, but also to practice the language in a more free and less controlled way. So that's the main purpose of this step. And finally, step 5, you need to review. This is when you can review any of the new concepts, the new language, the new words, the new phrases that you learned. Listen to your dictation again, read whatever you wrote again, watch the video again. Day 5 or step 5, when you are reviewing, this is super, super important, so don't skip this step. A lot of adult English learners tend to skip this step or totally forget about reviewing. Sometimes you spend hours or days or weeks learning something new and you never review it and you forget it. It goes kind of in one ear and out the other ear, okay? So it's very important for you to review new concepts. That is how you learn and remember things. That is the only way to learn and remember things. You cannot look at something, listen to something, read something one time and then expect to remember it forever, okay? So once you've gone through all of these steps, the very last one, review. So there are a few different ways that you can work through these steps. If you want to, and if you have time to practice your English from Monday to Friday, you can start step 1 on Monday and you can finish on Friday and then take a little break on the weekends. If you are busy and you don't have as much time, you can also work through these steps every other day. That means you skip a day. So you start on Monday, you take Tuesday off. You continue on Wednesday, you take Thursday off, okay, and so on. It's really up to you. There is no time limit or timeline here. These are just steps that you need to follow, and you can spend as long as you want on each step, okay? So if you need to spend 15 minutes on step 1, that's okay. If you need to spend 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours on step 1, absolutely okay, all right? So don't stress about the timing. Just focus on the order of these steps. So there you have it: input, analyze, practice, output, and review. Now, these 5 steps are based on methodologies and techniques that we use as language teachers, but I have tried to simplify it for you if you want to practice English on your own. Now, this approach and these steps does take some effort. You first of all need to find a good, interesting piece of material to use, and you need to be diligent and organized. However, if you are practicing English on your own at home, which I think you are because you're watching this video, then you might as well do it the right way. Now, these steps are logical, they are effective, they are part of the methods that I personally use to teach my students, to teach my classes. I use a similar approach when I am creating courses and so on, okay? So I promise you, this approach does work. However, it does take some effort and some time on your part. But that's what it is if you are working on English on your own at home, okay? So if you have any questions on this topic, as always, drop them in the comments. And don't forget to grab your free ebook, English Conversations Made Simple. I'll link it down below for you. Thank you so much for watching and for learning with me, and I'll see you soon in the next lesson.